Hello, and welcome to this week's special edition of Heads Up. Special because I want to share with you a recent conversation among a group of our Year 12 students, soon to start their final year, looking back at their time at Wycombe High School. It was recorded as part of our upcoming Reasons Why Wycombe High live online event for Year 5 students and their families who are thinking of coming to Wycombe High and who in a few months will be taking the secondary transfer test. Places are still available for our 1-hour welcome webinar at 4:30 p.m. on Monday the 10th of July. So if you or anyone you know is interested, please register via the link which is on the bottom of your screen. I hope to see you there, and in the meantime, here's that chat from our Year 12 students. I hope you'll be as impressed as I was with what they had to say about the Wycombe High School experience.
Hi guys, thank you all for coming. I'm going to start off with quite a general question. We're now in Year 12, which means that we've been at Wycombe High for quite a while, yet it feels like only just yesterday that we were thinking about what schools to go to and sitting our 11 plus. You're going to look back over the past 6 years. What would you say is your highlight or the best bit about being at Wycombe High?
I would say it's all the people I met, both friends and students alike. Yes, we met lots of new people in Year 7, but even at the beginning of Year 12, there was a flummox of loads of new people from different backgrounds doing different subjects, and that's been a really interesting experience for me.
I really enjoyed the Boodles program, so I did that in Year 8, and it was just something I never expected I'd be able to do. So they trained us up to be ball girls for a tennis tournament as a sort of a warm-up for Wimbledon. So I got to ball girl for people like Djokovic, which was just a crazy experience.
Wow, okay.
My favorite aspect is probably meeting the new people and just being able to learn about so many different cultures and be part of this just amazing community.
Yeah.
I think it's the variety of subjects that we offer, because I do find that with everything I've done from 7 to 8, GCSEs and now A-levels, I found that it's made me a very well-rounded person.
Yeah, I completely agree with all of those points. I think I was personally very excited to start at Wycombe High School because I came from a really small primary school, and when I looked at what Wycombe High had to offer, it just had loads of opportunities there. I've changed a lot while I've been at secondary school. I was really shy, but now I'm involved in drama, and I've been really lucky to get involved in loads of plays and productions, and you get to meet people, and everyone's so lovely here. I feel like that's one thing that's been absolutely wonderful while being here. And yeah, I feel like, as we've demonstrated here, there's really something for everyone. It isn't just that you have to do, your stereotypical careers. You can find what you love, and it's a really great environment to do that in. Okay, so what sort of primary schools did you guys all come from, starting from the beginning, and how did you find integrating into the school community? And do you know what I mean? Yeah.
So I came from Chepping View Primary Academy. That's not far from Wycombe High. There were only 6 of us in total, and because there were 6 classes, we were all separated. Yeah. I'm not going to lie, I was quite nervous for that, and I think we all were. But very soon into Year 7, even after just the first week, we all were immersing ourselves in all new friendship groups, new people, trying out new things, and we all became so confident quite quickly.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Within a few weeks, everyone was joking around, and you really felt like you were part of a community.
So I came from Stoke-on-Church Primary, and there were 12 of us, so 2 of us ended up in each class. So I'm still actually friends with the girl I ended up in class with, so it does happen. But we so easily formed a really tight-knit friendship group who we're still friends with. And it was, you might think, oh, I have to actively try and make friends, but honestly, it just happens, so don't worry too much about it.
That's a really good point.
I came from Loudwater, and I had 2 other girls come into school with me, but I made so many friends just in the first few weeks. And also the school provides a lot of opportunities for you to make those friends, so either in tutor times or just spending time with your classmates. So it was really nice.
So I came from Crown House School, the school at the end of the Rye, and it was 3 other people who came with me. and we were all separated out. But I still talk to some of the girls I came with. So it's not that difficult. As someone said, you don't have to actively try to make friends. It naturally happens.
Those are all really good points. I feel like part of the reason why we all found it quite easy to integrate is because everyone's just so wonderful here, and the school really actively try and make it as simple and as supportive as possible. I came with only 2 other people. I came from Hazelmere, which isn't too far away, but they were both not on the same side of the year as me. So I was forced into this environment where I had to make friends on the spot. But the one thing you've got to remember is everyone else is in the same position as you. Like, you're not singled out, and everyone's so wonderful and lovely that it really is just a lovely place to be in the first few years. So talking about the first few years, how did you find year 7 and 8? Because when we start Wycombe High School, there are so many new subjects, and it's completely different to primary school because you suddenly have like 10 teachers. How did you all find year 7?
The transition was great from primary school just mucking around to actually having 10 subjects, a proper planner, having designated homework time, and just being more responsible. That was nice. I liked the independence, and because everybody was going through that transition, it was quite nice.
Yeah, really good point. How did you find it?
I really enjoyed year 7 and 8. I liked the fact that in general everybody wanted to learn, and it was so great having like such a variety of different subjects. We learned Latin in year 7
Yes.
and 8. I never thought I'd be doing that, but there was also a lot of group work. So me and my friends, we'd love to make iMovies, so we'd be told to make like a presentation on a science topic, and we'd go and make a video on it and then share it with the class. And there's so much room for creative freedom in those first 2 years. You've got to make the most of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of blending of subjects. Like, just as you were saying, you can be in history, but you'll be creating a mini short production on like the historical period that you're studying. How did you guys find the start of school?
I think the year 7 and 8 were just great years, especially to experience all these new subjects and to find out what you actually like doing, and that whole feeling of being much more responsible, much more grown up. That's definitely
like
great.
you can go and buy food from the forum. That's definitely like you feel everyone with your fingerprint. Everyone spent so much money in the first few weeks on jelly, ice cream. Really funny.
I think it was the extra curriculum that they really pushed, because I remember from like year 7 and 8, I heard everything about highlights, about all productions, musical productions that we have. And I did try to get very immersed into that. And I did actually end up being on one of the productions that they had. I think I was in year 8.
Grimm's Tales. I did that one.
Yes. It was so mad because it was such a good time, and we had different parts, and like everyone was able to have their part in the show, but it was just so much easier to make friends because people were interested in a similar hobbies that you had outside of school. So you would just meet after school and just chat, and the time would fly by.
Definitely. It was really good points about like you get to study subjects that you don't usually get to at primary school, like Latin. I personally hadn't ever done that one before. You've also got things like product design, drama, art, and you've got the facilities to really be able to experiment with them. And like science, you get to play around with fire. That was a highlight for me. With productions and plays as well, how have you guys found like stepping out of your comfort zone? Do you feel like how do you feel like Wycombe High has changed you as a person in terms of the environment? Because I feel like it's such an incredible environment to be in, especially a grammar school. How have you all found that?
As you said, with all the facilities, I feel like it's allowed me to explore what I'm really good at and what I also really like doing, and what sort of things I like to do and who with. In drama, I'd never properly stepped into a drama studio before. I found it fascinating and so cool. And I didn't think I'd like drama as much as I did, but when I really gave it a go, I really liked it.
Yeah, and on the drama side, you've also got all of the high-tech, expensive equipment, so like lighting. Yeah. One of my friends is like really into the lighting side and now knows how to program an entire show just through the extracurricular side of things. So you really have opportunities to really get into some quite niche disciplines.
I mean, I think in year 6, I envisioned myself doing gymnastics at school and maybe the school choir and orchestra. But actually, I ended up trying so many things that just getting roped into things. I was on the athletics team for 3 years. I did I did a violin improvisation trio for a bit. I know, crazy. What else have I done? I was on the rounders team for a bit, which I did not expect.
Wow.
But I also, so I've done a lot of theatre as well, and I didn't have much confidence with that in the younger years. But then I started off, I did an RGS production, I was in the ensemble, and then that gave me a little bit more confidence to do. So last year I was in Greece.
That was really good.
And so I had a lead role in that. So and now I really love musical theatre. It's like my main hobby at the moment.
Yeah, it's a really good point about being able to do things with other schools. So when there isn't a musical being put on at Wycombe High, because they happen every 2 years, you can go over to RGS and you can go over to John Hampden and get involved as well. So even though, you're a Wycombe High School student, it's really a community atmosphere between the secondary schools.
I feel like I really developed my confidence in this school and that I was able to find my own voice, like stand up for my own beliefs and like develop those beliefs, especially with the opportunities that the school gives us, maybe like the Crest Award for science, or even there was a magistrates court trial.
Yeah, that was
which we
really
participated
cool.
in. Yeah, that was really cool. And just generally working together in a team or working by yourself, it just develops those skills and makes you a more confident person.
Yeah. What do you think? I do find that, as I said before, all the clubs and everything, I find that it's made me realise what I like, but also what I don't like. So I was able to better steer myself into something that I'm like, okay, I tried out orchestra. Olivia and I were on an orchestra together. And we were both in second violins and we were just looking around for when the cue was. So I've been in quite a few clubs. I was in Greek mythology club because I read Percy Jackson. So I was an expert on Greek mythology. But I realized, okay, the Crest Award, for example, that is something that did pique my interest, and it made me realize, okay, I do find science quite interesting. Let me think about what sciences I like, and that's helped me choose what A-levels to pick as well. So it's definitely something that helps you think about how it develops you as a person.
Yeah, especially with the amount of subjects that you get to try, you really get to experiment and try out new things and really see who you are as a person, and that's okay. Year 7 and 8 was a really long time ago now. It's making me realise we were all so young back then. So much has happened. I know, don't say that. So when you join Wycombe High, you're put into a house, and we've stayed in our houses the whole time. There are 6 houses. You've got Bronte, Austin, Pankhurst, Nightingale, Curie and Parks. That's 6. And they're all named after really famous women in history. How have you found the house system? Because when you're at Wycombe High, you join something called a tutor group, and it's based off this vertical system. So there are people from every single year group in your tutor group. You stay with them the whole time until obviously they leave, and it's a really good opportunity to get to talk to other people. So how have you found tutor time and house competitions and sports day?
I really like it. I think the whole element of putting us in houses really brings together the family aspect of Wycombe High. I think from just the daily tutor times that are 20 minutes long to the inter-house competitions or sports days, everything associated with houses is so family oriented and really nice. And I like how in tutor groups there's only a few people in each year group, so you can really get to know people who are a lot older than you or younger than you and listen to their experiences and just broaden your experiences.
In the younger years, I definitely looked up to the sixth formers and maybe the year 11s in my tutor group, and I think I learned a lot from them as well. Like I was hearing about their experiences with A-levels, and some of them were learning to drive. I remember one of the sixth formers came in having passed her driving test, and it was like, oh my goodness.
Wow.
Just being exposed to people of all ages is such a great thing. But now you also get a lot of different tutor time is really integral to your education. So we do like digital learning, so which is really important nowadays, so learning how to do things online. And we have like a games day just to help relax and get to know people. What else PSHE, learning about current affairs and stuff. That's so important to education.
Yeah, and the school
points as well.
Yeah, and the school really keeps up to date with what's happening in the world. So yeah, you're coming to school, but you're also learning about what's happening around you, and you're staying on topic, and it's really exciting. How have you found tutor time? And
Yeah, with the PSHE, it's really, really important that you get other people's opinions who are from different backgrounds and also like different ages. What do they think of this issue? Is it actually affecting them as well? And just you feel much more integrated into the whole community. You feel just part of it. You look up to these people as like your sisters, as your family, as people who can advise you or whom you can advise. And that really just strengthens the community.
yeah, it's quite crazy because when I was in year 7, I used to think, wow, the year 13s are really old. But now we're going into year 13 and I do not feel old at all. How have you found it all?
I find it's very, it's another way of immersing yourself and making sure that you're meeting new people and people from different backgrounds as well, different cultures. You get to learn about these. They do these during PSHE as well. And it does create a better sense of community because during sports day, during like inter-house, or maybe just around the school you're walking around and you bump into someone from your tutor group, it might be a bit scary for year 7s at the beginning, but then when you see a friendly face around, they smile at you, they smile back, you just feel a bit more confident. And it definitely does build up into sixth form. Olivia and I are in the same tutor group, and we just spend our time just chatting and just like going over digital learning and PSHE. But it's just so much easier because we can talk about different parts of our subjects, talk about PSHE. And it's very important that you can discuss these things. And people from who take different subjects as well, ask them how it's doing. And it just creates a better sense of what's going on.
Yeah. And you also have your own tutor who is with you the whole time, and they get to know you on a more pastoral level, so who you are, and they're there to support you. And it's really nice to have that person that you can go and talk to if you need any help. On the topic of sports days as well, they get really passionate. Our heads of house are incredible. There are like teddies for each house and a lot of colour, and people get very passionate about it. The house captains this year are already competitive and they're about 2 weeks in. So yeah, you definitely get this community atmosphere and just smiles and joy. Like I only think back on those years with like a fond and maybe sad thing because they're now over. I'd love to go back and do it all again. So, as we were saying, your tutor's there for you throughout the whole experience. How have you found sort of the outside side of your academics? So, in terms of like mental health support and pastoral care, how have you all found that while being here at Wycombe High?
So this year is the first time I think our school has introduced the peer mentor scheme where 20 of us were trained by the mental health charity Mind to become peer mentors.
Are you a peer mentor?
Yeah. Olivia and I both are. And it's brilliant. It's so nice to both be a peer mentor and to hear experiences from mentees, the support, and just it's not just about the fact that we're trained, it's also sometimes just having a listening ear, and there's so many opportunities and people that you can talk to, so that every member of staff at our school is trained in safeguarding, so you can talk to anyone. It doesn't have to be a member of the safeguarding team necessarily.
That's a really good point. How have you found the mental health support and pastoral care?
I think going back to the tutor group thing, it's so great having a tutor who's sort of responsible for you because you have one-to-ones with them once every half term, I think, or maybe twice.
No, it's once every half term.
Once every half term, where they will check up on you and make sure you're on track and seeing how you're doing, just as on a whole, seeing how you're doing, which is really important just to make sure you're okay, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, to add on to Olivia's point, all the tutors I've had have been so supportive, and I felt that I really could tell them anything. And I feel that it's incredibly important to have that network of safeguarding teachers who you can talk to about anything pretty much, and they'll just support you.
Yeah. I think it's also important to say that when it comes down to your subject teachers, you can, if you feel comfortable with one of your teachers, you can go talk to them. And maybe if it's academic and you want to explain to them that you don't understand something in their subject and it's making you feel a bit down, you can go talk to them and they'll help you out.
That's a really good point because all the teachers here are incredible. Like when I joined Wycombe High, I was like, wow, the passion. It was so funny. Some of them are absolutely hilarious. And you can tell they all absolutely love their subject. How have you sort of found the teaching style with secondary school and just sort of the passion that's there in the classroom?
I really like it, and I like how the teaching formats of different classrooms differs. For example, in C207, one of our RS classrooms, the classroom structure isn't a regular classroom structure. We have the tables just kind of around the classroom, and you have your table attached to your chair. It creates much more of a conversational, informal environment. Religious studies is quite discussion-based, debating, ethics, and the classroom setup just creates that perfectly.
Yeah, and all the RS teachers are great for encouraging different perspectives. How have you found teaching?
Well, I've just found that the teachers want you to have fun, especially in the younger years. They will try and help you learn in a fun way. So like in RS, we made like our own heaven. I
Whoa!
Think. Did we, like with it was like the little buildings we made, or like the models or something.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't remember. We made a Cloud9 mansion which had like a jacuzzi in it and stuff.
That sounds like heaven.
I can't remember. And like in languages, for example, they'll incorporate lots of little games for you to help you learn. But yeah, everyone's really knowledgeable and really enjoys their subjects.
Yeah.
Yes, the teachers are definitely incredibly passionate, and they want to encourage that passion within us. And so when you feel that passion, you see that around you, everyone actually wants to learn, and it's a great environment for you to learn in and to actually thrive in.
Yeah.
I think some subjects are very hands-on as well. I remember for year 7 and 8, we used to be on rotations for technology, and that would be very, very interesting because you'd be split up into like 3 different classes, and one would be doing pocketed rolls, and then like pocketed rolls, and then the other one would be doing like the one you put in the plant to check like if there's moisture.
And you did like soldering, which is so cool.
It's
scary.
I love that section. And then of course you'd have like the food tech block where like you would make everyone jealous when you come out with your like chicken nuggets.
I don't think they were ever jealous of my food. On the topic of digital, which you kind of started to raise, at Wycombe High, you're allowed to bring in your own device. And this is something that's definitely was a bonus during COVID because we had all of the work on Teams. How have you found having your own device in school? Because it's given us technology skills that are vital for future life.
I have to say, before coming to Wycombe High, I wasn't very confident on just using digital things and being more digitally oriented. But now I've grown in confidence since year 7 to even now. All my notes are now on my iPad, and that's so much easier. It's nicer, and it's much easier to stay organised that way.
Yeah, and you can also really easily hand in homework as well because you don't have to print off things because it's good to save the environment.
I agree. I'm definitely one of those people who, if they have something printed out, I will just lose it. It will go filed away, but then it will mysteriously disappear. But I think using a device throughout school gives you a lot of valuable skills. Even just, for example, making a PowerPoint presentation. That's so vital for later on in life at like university. And like I enjoy doing music production and stuff, and just having that little introduction to being able to use a device is opens a lot of doors.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether any of you guys did art GCSE, but I did. You did? Yeah, and so we started to do digital art, and obviously we couldn't have even explored that if we didn't have devices. And so it really opens up opportunities, and like I've had to edit videos and things like that, and these are skills that are really quite fun to have, and you might actually discover, I really like this.
Yeah. Digital literacy in such a digital-oriented world is so important to learn from a young age, especially like which sources on the internet can I read and can I trust? What kind of news do I believe in? And just selecting that information, and also like developing those skills, like those art skills or making good presentations, that is really important.
Yeah, and we even have, once a year, we have a STEMettes Day where specialists in digital learning come in and they teach you how to code. So we've like made websites, which is so cool. How have you found that? Because I know that you did graphics, so you're probably a bit more technologically advanced than me.
I do find that it was a good stepping stone that to what I was doing for product design GCSE, because it was giving me the opportunity to then go into graphics and say, okay, I'm going to go on this computer, I'm going to do like digital design, and if there are any errors in my work, I know that I can easily just bring on my iPad, edit it, and send it off. So it made that transition so much easier.
Yeah, definitely. And digital world is something that's constantly changing, and I think Wycombe High as a school is constantly changing as well. I mean, while we've been here, there's been a change in Headteacher. We've got this incredible Wycombe High TV studio that we're sitting in right now with all the cameras and the lights. How have you found that the school's like responded to change and is like evolving and adapting to its students' needs?
I think that the student voice is something that's become even more important. This year we had Culture Day because it was largely voted for by us.
What was Culture Day for anyone who doesn't know?
So it was for sixth forms, that's year 12 and 13. We came in wearing clothes of our culture. And I think during that week in the forum, did we also have like per day different cultural meals?
So on International Week, the forum basically cater to different cultural foods, and it's really lovely because you get to go and try things that you never tried before.
Well, the school is constantly changing, I think. They have the meetings for house council reps, that's it. So they put forward the ideas that your tutor group has come up with on how to improve the school, and quite often those are the things that that will be implemented into the change in school. But even like having peer mentors, that's something new to this year. I don't know, it's constantly changing.
It is constantly changing, and on the discussion of like house council, I have to do student council, and so student council is basically all of the major ideas raised at house council. The kids, they go over and they have a meeting with the head teacher, the deputy heads, and all of the top staff members in the school in those disciplines, and so you know that student voices are being listened to. Like, things are changing all the time. We're talking about British Sign Language being implemented. You've also had computer science GCSE, which was a thing that was raised and is now actually happening. So students really have the power to be the change that they want to see.
Yeah, one of my favorite probably celebration was Culture Day, because it just raised awareness of the different cultures in our community, and that is wonderful. And also on the topic of PSHE, how the school just responds to the change happening around the world. It's so important to be aware of what's happening around you.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it also brings to light the clubs that we have as well. So from Culture Day, people would be like, oh, that's really interesting. They'd read up more about it. And then in the bulletin, they would see, oh, like there was a celebration, or like Hispanic Society's holding a celebration for Dia de los Muertos. And it's like, it's just, it's
bringing out the Spanish.
It's just really nice to have that sense of community, and then introducing to people's culture, and they'll explain it to you, and anything you don't understand, it's a safe space to be like, oh, so this is, why would you do it like this? Like, it's just genuinely inquisitive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I just want to add that on Culture Day, they were actually responding to the Syria-Turkey earthquake, and they were raising money.
That's a really good point.
So I think that the school really responds to what's happening in the world, and also contributes to making a change in other people's life through charities and through these fairs. So it's really a fun way to do that,
Yeah, and Culture Day is going to be expanded next year because we know how many students loved it. Talking about favourite times of the year, what would you say is like your highlight each year of the school year that you look forward to in anticipation?
I like summer.
So you like it when it's not school?
I like season. I really like Sports Day in specific. It's really nice. The vibe of like the stalls as well. Every tutor group most tutor groups get to have their own stall, and there's so many different things: face paint, fizzy drinks. I think they had an ice cream stall last year.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's really nice.
Yeah, and the great thing about Sports Day is I'm personally not very sporty. I don't know about you guys, but I still love Sports Day because you don't have to be incredibly sporty there. A lot of it's just the atmosphere and like getting to know people and just having a celebratory atmosphere. It's really lovely.
I really love the pantomime.
I was going to say, are you directing the pantomime?
Yeah, so I'm going to be the head of panto for next year, so that means along with another student, Ria, so we're writing it together and then we'll direct it, cast it, everything. But it normally falls on my birthday, which is quite cool. But yeah, I also, it's hilarious every year. The jokes are always tailored to the school, and some of the teachers are in it, which is just... I did not expect that.
Great. Mr. Binks is great. The history department is on point with their acting skills. The panto is a really good point. It's completely student led, and it's the perfect way to end the year, I guess. And it's also something that I haven't heard any other school doing. So the transfer students might have thought, what is going on? But I remember the year 7 one was the best one because you didn't know what to expect. And the teachers get really involved, and it's really lovely to see. Like Mr. Bell is always, in drag at the front, being incredible. And it's just lovely because you get to see the teachers doing things outside of the classroom. What's been your highlight?
My highlight. There are so many. There are always like some kind of celebration or some kind of fair going on throughout the year. You have Pink Fair when the whole of the sixth form look is pink. I love that. But the build up to Christmas, I think, is the best because you have the Christmas fair. And I'm pretty sure we have more than just one, where there are so many stalls of different things, and the panto is obviously the best. So I would say that time.
You know me, when it comes to summer, last day of school, that is so much fun because what we do is that there are musical performances, everyone is in the amphitheatre, everyone's having such a great time, there's music, there's drinks, there's food, it's just amazing, and I really love that atmosphere.
Yeah, it's a really celebratory event. And you were talking about Christmas fairs. My personal highlight this year is probably going to be Singograms, which is where basically the SLT go in, and you can buy one of these in advance, and the SLT come in and they surprise you in a lesson, and they start singing a classic Christmas song. So you've got like nativity songs, Wham! It's great. I think a few years ago they had like a chicken thing that was going on, and they like put a hat on the person it was bought for. It's kind of crazy, but it's just the atmosphere of Wycombe High School, and it's so much fun. So yeah, I'm going to ask you a question, guys. If you could go and do it all again, would you?
I think definitely. I think I've developed as a person in year 7 and 8. The way I made friends was just, my character was completely different to the way it is now. And I learned a lot about myself as well in the process.
Yeah, I definitely would. I mean, I've always done something every lunchtime, a different club every day. So I've just had so many new experiences at Wycombe High that I'd happily do again. I mean, the school work can be hard work, but everything else sort of makes up for it.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, I would say absolutely. There are so many things that you could still get involved in. Like, you can't experience all of the clubs and societies here, but...
No, there's over 100.
Yes,
Good luck going to all of
many.
them.
Yeah, and just how it changes you, how the school changes you as a person, how much you develop, that is just the most valuable transformation for your life.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I definitely would, especially with the new clubs that are being implemented this year next. Then that's something I would get into as well. And I do think it would just enhance my experience.
Yeah, I definitely do it all again because, you've got clubs and things like that. You've also got the pastoral help, but also it's just been a great school. And like, for example, sometimes you have to stay after school for a little bit longer than you need to, but you can come into school from 8 o'clock in the morning and you can leave as late as 6. I don't think I've ever gone that far. Personally, it's a bit late for me, but it's great because you've got the incredible library, you've got all the incredible staff, and I feel like there's always something to do. You can get involved in loads of things. I'm really lucky to be doing the magazine this year. That's been absolutely great, and I've been able to go and see just how much this community has to offer. And there's things in hidden places that you can find in the school community, and the teachers are there to support you, the staff, the entire school community are there to support you and find what you love. It's just brilliant. Yeah. Thank you guys for coming and joining me. It's been great. I've learnt a lot about you. Thank you.